Hi all, welcome to another Chess 24 Banter Blitz. I've got a massively strong lineup of challenges. I think this is record strength. There's a GM, there's an FM, there's loads of players above 2300. In fact, so I'm going to start off with a warm-up under 2200 game, which is probably going to be tough anyway. And maybe also a priority for those that haven't ever played me before would be interesting as well to include. And then the third priority, just beat me up. Beat the hell out of Kingscrusher. Yeah, okay. So whatever that order is. Okay. So, Selen. I'm going to play bishop d6 here. This is the snake variation, which I'm having huge success with a lot of the time in Blitz. It's not so well known how white deals with it. It's got some properties of Benoni, modern Benoni, but some very interesting new ones. Pressure on e4 already. Potential use of outpost square. Well, not outpost square. Dark square e5. I might actually be threatening bishop takes here. Yeah. Okay, so I like the control of e5 here. Maybe I can risk this to go to g6. I'm hoping I can risk that. So this knight g6, I think it's slightly better placed there than d7. It's still in contact with that central square e5. So yeah, the thing is, what do I do about these pieces? Okay, he's challenging my bishop there. That's interesting. Maybe I can kind of threaten something on f2 if I do this. Yeah, that is possible. The bishop might be dangerous here. Might be is the operative word. This, I'm trying to aim for maybe weakening e5 a little bit. Unless he wants to give me double pawns, it's a different story. That might. I'm sure bishop e2 is sensible looking. Now queen d7 might provoke h3. I might actually take that. You know, if h3, I might take that because there's a possibility of c4 and queen g3 if this pawn's pinned. Or do I? There's bishop f1. It's not that convincing. With my pawn still there, I think I'd rather, actually for the moment, let's play it a little bit safer for the first game. I'm hoping I'm not going to regret this. Just to weaken that e5 as originally mentioned. Maybe there's a slightly different dynamic plan here of c4 and knight d3. So c4 check and knight d3. Is c4 check worth it here? It might be, even as a pawn sack. Yeah, I think even if he takes there, there's going to be knight g4 later. I mean, that's going into a self pin, and I'm wondering about, well, it's possible bishop takes c4 is a good idea. Can I double the rooks here to maybe play knight takes d5? He's going to take on c4 though. If I do that, and he will be protecting e4. So this might not be entirely clever. Okay. Let's push this back. Okay. Oh, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Mind you, f4 is hanging. Bishop c5. He has weakened f4 in doing this, so I'm hoping if he... Oh, I'm protecting c4 at the moment. So I'm threatening knight takes f4. Yeah, can I Can I play knight takes f4? I'm hoping I can play this. I think knight h6, just king f8. Maybe even king h8 is possible. But king f8 holds f7 a bit more securely. So knight h6, I don't really want to take for queen f6. If that is the point. So I've snagged a pawn here. Maybe I can just move the knight back to e5. There's no f4 pawn. Okay, that's not a double attack yet. In fact, knight takes d5 wins another pawn, but then queen g5 is too dangerous. I could take with this knight, but then I don't know. It looks as though both my knights are hanging. Queen d2, for example. So I think probably the safest is this. Just shielding my king to queen g5. I might be threatening, well, knight takes d5 here under better circumstances. And if I played h6 here, I don't think there's a knight. Oh, there is a knight h6 for queen f6. Gotta be careful. What about rook e5? I'm trying to pin that. I'm still using that e5 square. If I try and pin that, then maybe knight takes d5. My back row might be weak there. Rook takes. Is my back row weak? Yeah, maybe. That's interesting. Okay, so knight takes d5, h5. h6, knight h6. What about king h7 there? Hold on a sec. King h7 there. Yeah, I'm going to try that. Okay. I'll do an exchange sack. Just to remove that horrible knight, actually. Yeah, I mean, I still get a nice knight on e5. Yeah, I don't like this brewing of some sort of attack, particularly. I can get one pawn for the exchange. That's starting to be a good trend. There's another pawn here to get. I mean, it sort of put a stop to the dynamic attacking potential for a moment. This exchange sack. So rook takes a5. Well, I thought it did. Has he got a dangerous pass pawn now? It's difficult to blockade, I guess. That's a good counter sack, huh? If I avoid the exchange of queens for a moment. Can I play e4 here? I don't want this bishop winning the pawn. I can play knight takes, I think. Can I just get behind this pawn? I better speed up. Let's think about pre-move time soon. Can I surround this pawn? If I bring my king, the king's protecting g7. All right. Can I not take that? There is that check. I'll protect this guy. Try and make some meaningful progress here. pretty tough game actually. Thanks. Now, who's never played me before I get onto... has anyone never played me before? If you want to say your nickname. Otherwise, I'll go on to just follow the list. Anyone never played before? Just if you want to say your nickname, maybe I'll prioritise you. Okay, Kramnik Student, we have played before. A few times, yep. Kramnik Student. Okay. Tango. Alright, this contraption. Okay. This could be tricky. Oh, that's interesting. Can I get a Benoni structure? Or a King's Engine structure? It's not, I'm not usually terrified about this sort of position so much. With C4 included. I think there's some tactical points about D5 and the H4 plan, which sometimes really annoying. But this looks like just a Simish King's Engine style position where I can probably just play for B5. I was dissuading him from castling queenside at A4 surely. Well, yeah. If he castles, bishop takes. So knight F2, and in the meantime, well, maybe, as I say, Benoni structure, but yeah, might be tricky. What if I play for F5, F4? Is that an idea? Not committing to a weakened D pawn, but instead, I don't know, trying to increase my dark square grip. Is F4 actually a problem if he cancelled? Is that F4 and bishop H6? There's a certain amount of dark square grip there, but that pawn's probably a liability. He's keen to make sure B5 is not played clearly, but try and get some counterplay on this side of the board of some sort without using E6. Maybe, you know, oh wow, really, wow, I didn't expect that. That is a shock. The king there, I'm thinking just, you know, sack a pawn here. Some open up some roads. You know, C4, bishop takes B5, that sort of thing. I think can I not just take that, because the F file could be useful as well. Am I being too optimistic here? I'll take it. Is my king getting shredded a bit? It's possible. I could take then F4, maybe to try and keep things closed, with the possibility of F3. Positionally, the E5 knight's more stable without any F4 later. If he's really going to take like this, that E5 knight looks good anyway from a positional perspective. Okay, this discovery attack seems impotent at the moment. The knight being blocked in by pawns on D5 and E4. Can I just shut down the king side here? Keep the king side locked down, closed. In the meantime, also I just want to play Bishop takes b5, I believe. Yeah, hold g5 a bit more, just in case there's a rook h5 and knight h3 later. So the bishop's attacking and defensive there anyway. Bishop takes b5. I'm thinking this is a good position to be in. Take away that discovered attack. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get ready for a nasty pin on c3 here. Okay, h7 actually holds g5. Yeah, he's holding things. Or is he? I think that looks almost crushing because of queen b2. Knight d3 takes queen b2. If rook takes, there's the problem. Bishop takes, rook takes. Oh, queen f1 check. Is that really holding? Is that really the case? Let's have a look at this again. Knight d3 takes. Bishop c3, rook takes. Queen f1 check. Nothing's dropping. I could just play f3 and knight takes g4 here. Can I really believe that? Okay, I don't want to like lose on time here. I'm going to explore this. Mind you, he might have e5 later. Oh, this will be interesting anyway. Okay, he might have e5 for queen g6. Okay, it's no, I need to work out something. Need to work out something. That was interesting. I'll take on c3 here because of bishop b2. Hang on. Oh, e5 is dangerous, is it? Bishop b2, queen b2. No, the king b2, rook c2, rook b5. Let's have a look at this. Bishop b5. Let's not have a look at that then. Okay. My knight's a bit of a problem. That's not checking. Oh, there's check and rook b2. Hold on. I have to probably play knight f8 at some point. Check rook b2, bishop h7. Okay, so let's see. e5 check, king d1, rook b2. Do I play knight f8 or leave it to be taken? Maybe I just leave it to be taken because of queen a1. Queen a1 looks strong. Or rook c3 on queen c1. Oh, knight f7's a mate threat. Check, I'm taking out that knight. Well, knight f7's not mating. Because I just take the bishop. Okay, I'll stop this knight f7 business. Okay, knight f7 is dangerous again. This is yeah. Some good tactics. No, I think I was lost. I thought I was lost there. If he has more time, I think I'm not doing anything. E5 was desperate. Doesn't do anything, it just takes. But yeah, I think my queen's tied down. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I've got a perpetual check. I finished the porridge. Hold on. Okay, chatting forward. A friend bishop b2. Okay, b3. He doesn't want to lift that blockade that easily. But the e5 square here. Looks alright, I think, with knight e5. That's an extra weakness. And get ready for the c file. Yeah, switch to the c file. Or not. Let's get one pair of knights off. What about bishop b5? Is that anything? I might be threatening knight c6. Or knight d7. Oh, is he shattering my pawns? Maybe. He might just take. The pawns don't look that healthy. No, e5 is vulnerable. I can get some activity with the rook. No, hang on, can't do that. Okay, rook on the 7th is the aim, but oh. Oh, this is getting very dangerous. Rook c1. And there's rook f1 for bishop a6 after. I might have a check. So rook c1 check. Then unpin. With the possibility of rook d7, I hope. So I'll play the check and king f2. I'm losing another pawn after. Losing another pawn. And a third pawn with bishop g2 after. Can I at least try and get one pawn after rook d7? There's another pawn lost. Oh no, piece lost. No. That's resignable. Okay. Well played. Yeah. No, I didn't really get out of the starting block there. Okay. Well played. Morra Gambit. Let's play knight f3 here. So I'm not playing the Morra Gambit. Which, well, if he played the Sicilian, I'd play the Morra Gambit. Okay. So this King's Indian style attack. Okay, this might be okay for e5 later. Knight c4. Oh, knight c4 and bishop f4. Or actually, e5, e6 might be good. I think e5, e6 is interesting if e5 isn't stopped. Okay. Maybe b3 and bishop a3. There's that like there, b3 and bishop a3, because that diagonal, the d6, looks a little bit sensitive. Okay, so that pawn's not hanging just yet, so I'll keep that knight for a moment. Can I kick this guy back? Maybe for a6 is handy. Then actually maybe back after. If b6, maybe knight c4 again, and oh, let me fragment his pawns a little bit. That surely is a little bit of good positional news, because I'm threatening also rook takes a7. I don't think it's time for I'm protecting e4 now. So I'm wondering bishop e3, and he took if he takes, then rook takes a7. This looks nice. On the other hand, okay, can I do this just to not lose e4? If I can play bishop e3, I think there was the pin anyway, but here I might be threatening bishop e3, unless he's giving up an exchange. He might be doing an exchange sack, just leaving that rook there. That would be interesting. Oh, like that? It's not even for structure. Are you sure? I'm not sure the point of that. I would have left it there to open up the e5 square. Here it doesn't seem that dynamic. I might be wrong. It doesn't seem that. To me, it doesn't seem that dynamic at the moment. Maybe like queen a5. It looks as though black's under a lot of pressure here. I'm controlling c5. So I think I can just probably build on the d file. Maybe bishop f1 later. If I'm controlling some dark squares here and the d file, I don't think I'm that terrified. As bishop b4 as a threat, unless rook takes d7 refutes that. That might be a trap here. Rook d1, rook takes queen takes. There's queen takes. Yeah, let's see. I don't really. It's not. It's okay. It's not entirely a trap. It's the king's safer here. Bishop b4, rook takes d7. It's not such a dirty trap because this kind of improves my king a little bit. I just don't think this is a legitimate threat anyway in this particular position because of rook takes d7. That's another way I'm looking at it. I'm not trying to set a trap here. It slightly improves my position to play king h2. Honest. I believe it does. It's tucking the king away a bit safer. The big question is rook d1, bishop b4. Does that make that more effective? Rook takes, queen takes. That means if I play this, he takes my rook on d1. If I just took his queen. Rook here, bishop b4, rook takes. I'm still winning a piece now. Queen takes. Well, it's simplifying. It's simplifying here. There's queen d8 check. What am I talking about? There's queen d8 check in that position anyway. Bishop b4, queen d8. I think there's rook takes d7. Okay, thanks for the game, Morra Gambit. Now we got a GM opponent. Wow. Okay. Pawn holder. I'm hoping he's in slightly unfamiliar territory here with this Tango system. And I played quite a lot on different time limits. It's slightly on the unusual side. I'm hoping that favours me because I've got less theory behind me, I would imagine. For sure. H6 is looking like a reasonable. Okay, he could just double my pawns. I could just let him for a bit of dynamic play. On the other hand, I can imagine a blockade on f5 later. Maybe king f8. Let's avoid the double pawns for a moment. With bishop takes, queen takes, bishop takes, and he sort of blocks f5. I'd rather just let's go with this position for a moment. Maybe. Wow, I didn't expect that. This looks, yeah, it would have been nice to be able to keep that bishop. Bishop g4 takes, bishop d4, there's c3. Okay. There's, well, no, I don't know. I would have liked to have kept that bishop. Shame, as previously mentioned. Just trying to attack here. I've been going over some games of Steinitz recently. In his, when he was the Austrian Morphy, nicknamed the Austrian Morphy. This is pre-accumulation of small advantages, very pre-1862. The Austrian Morphy played like this a little bit. I probably need my other rook in the action. How would I get the other rook in the action? Queen g6, f5 if permitted. I wonder if he's going to win with a pass pawn on the queen side somehow. F5. Is that at all liberating? Bishop d3, f takes. Bishop takes. It undoubles my pawns. Might be worth something to do that. I just want to make sure my rook can be on the G file later. Or somewhere. Yeah, the G file. Yeah, probably G file. Rook G8 coming up. It doesn't look that bad, the position. To me, anyway. Rook G1, Rook G3, F takes, Rook G3, with Rook takes H3 to follow. So Rook G1, Rook G3. No, this has got a check. He hasn't got a check there. Takes Queen E4, Rook H3. Yeah, I think Rook G1, Rook G3. Is that really the case? Let's have a look at that. Maybe. Alright, he's going to try and win with a pass pawn over here. That's not threatening immediately. Can I not just take on G2, or should I just take on... I could undouble my pawns first. What's the lesser evil? Undoubling the pawns or Rook G2? Let's have a pump with this. I can't believe this. That can't be good. That can't be good. I can be a chicken and play for a draw, try and find a win. Queen F5. Can I try and find a win? Queen C2. I'm winning another pawn. Okay. Call me crazy. I'll play on. If I'm winning another pawn and he still hasn't got a pass pawn, his rooks can coordinate. What about e4, so I can at least play the check on e5 when he has rook c1. Do I believe that stuff? Let me just take another pawn. Come on. There's b4. Isn't got a pass pawn. Take this anyway. E3, isn't that dangerous for E2? I don't think I'll get mated. play for e1 with my king. He's going to take here and he's going to have king g3. I've got to stop rook e4 though. Can I do this, just the queen, without hassle? e1, without king e4. Pre-move time, I guess. Well, that's my first GM scalp ever on these streams. I don't get to play many GMs on stream. Thanks for the opportunity. Okay, thank you. Formless and FM 2900. It gets easier, doesn't it? 2900. Auckland Park, this stream today. Oh dear. Oh dear. He's not going to close the centre, is he? I think he's going to go for a more tactical game. I don't think he'd play d5. Yeah. He might even exchange off queens. Oh. I thought... is he going for... okay. Is there knight g5 on the cards? Yeah. Why have I just allowed knight g5? What am I doing? I think I've just allowed knight g5. Maybe there's king g6. Okay, is he sacking a piece? Is he going to sack a piece? No? Well, what about f4 then? Is he sacking a piece after f4? Well, actually that's already a piece sack. He has to sack a piece. It's for 3 pawns. I should have maybe thought about that a bit more. I can't allow a double check because it's mate on h7, right? Can I try and improve it with bishop f5 here for 2 pawns? Yeah, maybe I'll try and... Does that improve it? I'll just take the piece, come on. Maybe the bishop takes h3 here. And goes back for a check, so what? There's 2 pawns. I get knight g6. That is a nasty pin. Can I just unpin? Queen d7 or queen d6? Which way? Queen d7. I don't know. Maybe it stops bishop. Knight g4 more. Oh. I didn't realise I was losing a piece there back. What a muppet. Oh, I didn't realise that at all. Oh, what an idiot. Oh no. Maybe I couldn't stop it. I didn't realise. Oh no. So I'm 2 pawns down. I'm trying to use the G file. Rook G6. This knight G5 looks a pain. What about Bishop E7 here? That's Queen H6. Rook G6, Rook G7. It's all a bit of a pain. Knight G5. Rook G4, Knight G5, King G6. What about that? I like King G6 there. Bishop D6 here. Gives me... Oh, he's got Queen H6 now. Have I got something like Rook H7 with some sort of attack? Potentially. Rook H7. Queen F7 to H5. So Rook H7. If I can get Rook H7 in. Okay. Is there this doubling or not? Anything better? Is there a doubling? Oh right, he takes and he's on E8. I didn't see that at all. I mean, he takes and he's got Rook E8. Oh dear, I thought I was going to be a piece up. Wow, I thought I was in with a bit of luck there. Well played. Okay, Olaf. So this looks I'll go bishop here for Queen D3. Classic. Unless I've got anything naughty with Rook E6. I think Knight A4, Knight E2, I don't know, Knight A4. Knight A4 might be plausible. Knight E2 looks quirky as well. I don't know, Knight A4. Okay, let's play Knight A4. I know Knight on the rim is dim. I'm aware of that expression. I'm just hoping I can do something later with that knight. Or maybe not. Okay, knight c5, for example. Knight c5, punting for knight c5. He's got bishop b5. Yeah, okay. Queen back to d1, or just holding the knight just in case. So I just want to play knight c5, get this knight out of danger. This has really changed the character of the game. It's not about this diagonal at all. It's about my knight. at the moment. But knight c5, I'm hoping one day. There's a lot of forcing moves coming my way. I can play that, I hope. This guy's into his forcing moves. A lot of his moves have been forcing, but not all the forcing moves are wonderful from some more subtle perspectives, like weaknesses, creating weaknesses. But the bishop's fine there, it seems. My knight, at least, is not as dim as it was on a4. That gives me a pass pawn, the way he's done that forcing move. As long as he's given me advantages with each of his forcing moves, I don't mind them. Just keep giving me some of the little things to play with. But a4 here's the danger. I think I might use a forcing move here to give my bishop a2. Okay, so this gives me knight e5, which is another kind of, well, it's nearly a forcing move, but I think it's reasonable. If the queens come off, I can actually quickly double on the d-file and use that pawn. That's a pass pawn there, potentially. Okay, we swap this guy off. I guess he's not giving me that many options. Now queen h5. If queen f6, there's knight d7 winning exchange. So that looks tempting because these weaknesses from that earlier forcing move was a slight concession, I thought. Now king g7. Well, knight g4, rook h8. It's not that big a deal. Knight f7 for rook e6 looks dangerous. I'm threatening h6 again. And queen g6. That looks very, 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 very dangerous. So dangerous, I'm tempted to play it. There's knight f6. Hang on, knight f6. What if I doubled rooks first? So rook c5, knight f7, knight f6. Oh, there's queen h6 there. And if rook f7, rook e6, knight f6, there's rook e7 there. So I'm going to double for knight f7. I'm going to sack this pawn, sack the knight, and hope for the best. Mind you, he can win a pawn with knight f6 now. Just plays knight f6 immediately. Why don't I just do that? You can just play knight f6 immediately. Okay, he hasn't. I think knight f6 immediately might have been a big test. Mind you, knight f6 here looks like a problem as well. Let's keep the e file. Was this just totally unsound? Maybe it was just totally unsound. Okay. b3 for, no, queen b2. It looks totally unsound now. Try and weaken his king, I suppose. Is it possible for rook e5 to be dangerous? I'm just wondering because of e6, he's always got a check. This pawn's near to his king. If I can win g4, if he ever plays a check, that might be something. So there might be some pressure. If I can win a5, even, that's another pawn. Okay. So this rook d2 business. There's queen e3. I got a pawn over there, so it's not total end of the world just yet. Let's keep behind the pawn, the Tarrasch rule principle. That was only a double pawn anyway. Let's not go there. Oh. Pin? Okay, he unpins. Go with this one. Over here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I don't know, I'm speechless, sorry. I thought my knight sec was a good idea at the time. For some reason, yeah, that analysis was just a bit optimistic. For some reason, it looked as though knight f7 was... I only looked at... It just seemed to be advertising itself as a winning knight sack at the time. Intriguing. Okay, is this guy ready? Okay, try and play a solid Slav. This has been described as London system in reverse on Reddit just earlier today. I was checking out Reddit. Someone said, "What do you want to? If you want to play the London system with black, this is quite close because, okay, the bishop's not outside the pawn chain. You're a tempo down, but it's got the London system triangle. I do feel it's kind of solid." Can I play a6 and b5? And takes and then b5 and then bishop b7 and then c5. Maybe c5 immediately is okay. Just make sure he doesn't clamp down on the c5 square. Can I afford to play bishop b7 or is he going to clamp down? Maybe I should play it now. I'm just concerned, is he clamping on c5 or not? I don't know. If I had more time, I'd probably investigate in detail bishop b7 versus c5. I guess as long as this doesn't lose my force. Okay, the light squares are a bit weak. In fact, that's a big issue now, isn't it? So I took on d4. Just at least try and isolate his pawn and get rid of my liability there on the c file. Has he got bishop c7? Have I just given him bishop c7? And knight d6? Probably. It would be nice to play knight d5. Oh man. Alright, knight d5. I'm going to end up losing the exchange here. This wasn't a nice outcome. I give my rook a square before losing the exchange by force to knight d6 and bishop d6. This wasn't exactly what I had in mind. Can I get, if I get knight e5 in, or rook c8, is this a reasonable position? Maybe knight g4, f5, queen h5, that sort of ridiculous attacking scheme. I don't think e5 is helping for e4, giving him lots of squares. On the other hand, it looks, maybe I should play it. Queen e6 on knight f5. Possibility of e4 to try and win f5. Can I play e4? If knight d4 take that, take this queen. It's duality of chess. This seemingly aggressive piece is also a tactical liability in its own right. Knight d4 e takes, hitting his queen. Knight d6 e takes, hitting his queen. I think this is good news. I'm not sure. Not just yet. Okay, it does seem to be a piece. Does seem to be a piece. I'll pin as well. The pin is not just tactics, it's strategy, the pin, in a way. I think I understand that more recently. Someone asked this very strange question, which I guess is technically wrong, how tactics can be used as the building blocks of a strategic plan. But I think Nimzovich had in mind that the pin is both tactical and strategical, and I never really understood why he would do that. And actually, I think there's a reason which I have evidenced myself, that often you can just celebrate the pin for quite a large number of moves, almost as if the pin is just part of restricting the opponent. So in a way, a pin is both tactical and strategical. I mean, if you can celebrate the pin for a long time, it's almost like a strategical device. If you define strategical as more longer term, then the pin, like here, it's tying him down a bit. It's not just tactical. It's kind of like positional, strategical, positional. Okay, he's creating some weaknesses here. He's going to unpin at some point. Can I just double the rooks somewhere, or threaten to double the rooks, or g6? Maybe g6 for knight g7. Okay, he has unpin there. I need to unpin here. Make sure this isn't the disaster area, and just get rid of this tactical liability. Okay, queen g3. Right, queen g3 looks tempting for rook e5 or knight h5. Either rook e5. No. I can take these pawns with check. It's always a good idea to take things with check. It's even better than just taking things. Take them with check. Now knight f4 looks like an idea, or knight g3. Now takes, well, queen f2 looks crushing. I seem to have it's like going into a toy shop here, winning all this stuff. Okay, so alright, there's knight c5, or take here to avoid getting mated. Rook d3, or bishop d5. Okay, rook e3 is a nice pin. Tying him down. Okay. Quite enjoyed that one. Thanks. I know. I thought I was getting done over. Yeah. Sorry. I don't go into toy shops now. I mean, toy shop when I was like a kid. You know, there used to be toy shops. Okay. I know I'm ancient. Sorry. You know, things you can do, like you can use this little toy for pinning, you can use this little toy for winning material with check, this little one for like forks, you know what I mean, a tactical toy shop. Okay, anyway, you have to be there to understand it. Okay, there's a toy shop in Barnet. Okay, there's a toy shop in Barnet. All right, I think maybe it's closed down. No, okay, I think there still exists toy shops. Sorry. Okay, doesn't matter. Oh dear. Oh. Oh man. Oh. I know, everything's on the iPhone or whatever now. Yeah. You don't need toys anymore. Toys are redundant. They're like queuing McDonald's is redundant. You just put your thing in the machine, and probably in a year's time you have these drones with Big Macs delivering it to your door. That's the way things are going. Just technology. Okay, so h4 and hg and knight g4. hg and knight g4. Okay. hg and knight g4. I assume I want to weaken his king as much as possible. Like if I can get the h4 square for my queen here later. This, I have to move this rook at some point. Quick note to self, the rook probably needs to be moved maybe earlier than later. But I'm tempted for knight g4, queen g5, queen h6. He's isolated the g3 pawn and he's giving me a nice knight on e5, so there's credibility, a little bit of credibility for the attack, I think. Alright, while he's blocking that diagonal, I'll put that on hold. I'm threatening knight e3 as well. That's just the technicality though. Alright, I'm definitely moving this guy away now. I don't want to play a rook down. Not today. Loose pieces tend to fall off, especially in blitz. So queen g5, queen h6. Right, so queen h5 or queen h6. Alright, so queen g3 or queen h6 or queen h5 are probably three different threats to choose from. Well, I'll choose queen h5 here. Mind you, knight f4. And check king f2. Does it do anything? Maybe not. Check king f2. Right, I'll play bishop g4 then. So threatening bishop takes and queen g3. Now if knight f4, I don't have to commit to this queen going to h2. It seems rather pointless at the moment. Maybe the queen's good on g5. Maybe we just, bishop f3 here. That looks like kind of potentially crushing. Queen f6 is the cheapo for knight f3. That looks annoying because I don't know what he... Maybe he does knight e6, protecting his queen. Queen h6 with g5 might be interesting. Yeah, I'll play this with g5. To nudge that knight away, where would it go? d3. Does it go to d3? There's also bishop f3 here, just trying to weaken his light squares. So I'm threatening actually. I'm not convinced I'm threatening anything. Let's just work out some real downsides. Assassin mode, some real ones, not imaginary. Bishop takes is, I don't know, I'm weakening his light squares. In principle, it's crying out to be tested. Bishop takes g2. Knight takes. Okay. Basic tactical downsides here. Is knight g4 winning by force? I need to check. King takes. I don't know. Don't think it is. Bishop takes looks logical. It stops rook h1. Okay, I'll go with a move which looks intuitive, just to weaken some light squares. Now queen f6 check looks dangerous because I'm on the queen in some lines. King e2. There's rook h2. A nice pin. So knight f4. There's knight g4 winning the queen. This looks dangerous enough for a blitz game anyway. Knight f4, knight g4 wins the queen. King e2, queen f3 wins the knight. King g1, knight f3 wins the queen. Yeah, let's win the queen. That should be enough. I don't need to go for a mate. Thanks for the game, DR6. Paraka. I must have had the strongest average opposition to have all sessions ever. I'm happy to have won one or two so far. Did I say Paraka? Is Sasha? Provocative, like a London system without the bishop on c4. Well, the bishop on. I could go for this e4 plan. I can undermine later. Yeah, that looks like fun. I'll do that. It's like reverse French defense strategy with the bishop outside the pawn chain. I know because I've been playing the reverse French defense recently. Let's unpin here. I don't really want to commit to e4 unless the knights are not in ideal places here. Knight e1. If it's not that quick for him to destroy e4, okay. Now remember a Fischer game where Fischer tapped into the dark squares. I'm going to try that here. Once e4 has been played or provoked, at least f4 is something to play for. What was that game? There was a Fischer London system game I video annotated. Eventually he provoked white to play e4 and he got into the dark square f4 later. Well, hey, it's pretty quick for me to get into the dark square. It would open up another dark square if you ever took on f4. I definitely don't want to encourage too many weaknesses with f5 because I'd like to play a few moves at least before getting checkmated. Okay, so let's play for g5 though. I'm going to create enough weaknesses with g5. Unless I should try and stop e5. Maybe I've got a blockade point on e6. g5 and bishop e6. It's sort of as though okay, I gotta watch my light squares. Let's unpin the f7 pawn. This sort of plan with rook a e8, queen g6. Okay, queen e7 for the moment, as if h5 and g4 might be on the cards, but really I want to play rook a e8. And queen e6 here looks the more logical move in some respects to keep my pawn holding the king side. Does he really want b7? If I go queen g6, queen b7, rook b8, queen c7, rook b2, c3 is weak. Maybe I should go for that because my queen's nice for the attack here. Potentially. I get my pawn back with structural damage on his queen side. Any h4, g4, he's got knight h4 to f5. That's a key light square for him to get m2. He can't via this route at the moment, but this route is pretty dangerous, knight h4 to f5. Okay, I can protect that pawn now for a moment. g4 is knight h4, I guess. I can protect this guy. I'll keep this on f7 just in case. Queen e6 looks like an interesting tempo gain. What's the point of that? Is there something like knight d6 to interrupt? My knight's a bit loose. If I kick this guy out, I lose contact with e5, so knight I can take like that, protecting the knight. All right, let's just get the king out of a little bit safer. I think he wants g4 because of knight h4. That tempo gain is positional, going into f5. I don't think I can allow that. And also, of course, my queen's holding the knight. He's weakened some knight squares. I wonder queen e6. Is there a problem with queen e6? I hope not. If I just exchanged off, okay, a5 would drop. Can I play a5 first? And exchange off. Is there any point in exchanging off the rooks? Is there any point in exchanging off the rooks? It's got like queen e8 check after. Knight b8. Kick his rook out of here. Isn't that c6? Because if queen takes, there's queen takes c4 being pedantic. If queen a4, there's b5 again being pedantic. So c6 is a move here, which is all a technicality. But maybe an important one. And push this queen back. I feel like, I don't know if you've ever seen the film Liar Liar, there's a case spun on a technicality. I sometimes feel like that is a case in chess where you didn't really want to win like this, but winning a piece like this, whatever. But, you know, he just has a lot of pressure in the position, so safely kick the queen out. If I can. Queen f5. I can't play rook e7 now. He's punting for f8, being vulnerable. A loose piece. I'll protect f8. Can I get rid of one pair of rooks? Try and relieve some pressure. He's got another pawn. Okay, I don't like the way this is going so far. Definitely not. Pre-move time, is it? Yeah, it's just I couldn't. Oh, I couldn't do anything on the king side. Okay, thanks for the game. I think this might be one of the last games. It's approaching 2 o'clock. Start at 12:30. This might be one of the last games here, Alistair. Okay, I'm going to abort this game, I think. Has anyone got a 3-minute challenge out of interest? Oh, there is a 3-minute challenge. Mind you, I'll keep with order then. Okay, let's go over with a proper game. 5-minute. Proper blitz game. This is really passive for white, surely. What is this? This is like reverse French defense, but I'm tempted just to go with it. I'm tempted to go with it because knight g4 might be dangerous coming up here. I've been playing the reverse French defense, so I kind of get more of a feel for it when played with white. I believe. Might be wrong. H5 and knight f2 and g4. Is that dangerous? Right, he's going to squish the bishop. I'll let him take there if he wants. Maybe f4 is the way to go. For f3. He could push my bishop back, yeah. Don't know about winning this piece. It might be a little bit dangerous later if I can just get my rook to h6. So rook g8, rook g6, rook h6. It's an aggressive pawn formation to have with the black pieces, but he's also released the tension on it, so it's more difficult to undermine now. The question about this piece sack is less dangerous structurally than it might have been. It just depends if I can switch a rook in g6 to h6, I believe. Well, that's going to be tested here. Perhaps I should have considered taking that pawn. Yeah, why didn't I consider taking that pawn? This could be more hassle than it's worth, because it takes the knight g3. And then take stops rook g6 anyway. Yeah, it might have been better just to take that pawn. Oh well. I can get a tempo, can I, with bishop g4 to get rook g6, h6. key tempo. If I drop the bishop back just to castle queenside for a moment. So rook h6 and try and castle. We'll have this as a possibility. I want to castle queenside and have rook f8. If he wants to take here and take f5 and have a bishop trained on g2. Oh, that might be a problem. Okay. I seem to have not got much of an attack and blundered my queen. Okay. I didn't really get to prove anything there. Whoops. Okay, let's end on that low note. Okay. Yeah. That was slightly optimistic, I gotta admit. Slightly. Alright, thanks. Hope you enjoyed the games anyway. Yeah. And okay, so have a good rest of the weekend and see you next time. Okay, thanks so much. Thanks so much. Cheers then.